Great but late!
What's up, slackers? It's your boy Thompson coming at you poppin' fresh with a brand new show we like to call Great But Late. Now, the premise is simple. We complete and review some of history's greatest games that we've never played from a modern perspective. For our first episode, we're taking a look at the original Fallout, just in time to capitalize on search engine trends for Fallout 4. Like any freeform RPG worth its salt, Fallout begins with character creation. As old as it is, the character creator is still just as tight as any modern RPG out there, with the familiar special stats immediately recognizable to anyone who's played a Fallout game. Even for first-time players, it's easy to create your character within a few short minutes, making this system still one of the most intuitive I've ever seen. I tried to build a character that specialized in small guns, but by the end of the game, I was able to use pretty much whatever gear I got my hands on, including plasma weapons, rocket launchers, and old Betsy, my trusty minigun. Fallout is known for its unique perk system, which can do things like alter your stats or give you increased resistances. And for example, I picked the Gifted perk, which gave me +1 to all special stats. Players also have access to skills which they can use outside of dialogue and combat, like lockpicking or first aid for quick health boosts between resting. One of the best things about these skills is you can use most of them as much as you want. These skills don't make it to installments past Fallout 2 though, and I can see why. Most of them are just plain useless. What's the point of dumping a ton of points into lockpicking when I can just blow the door down, or pick the same lock at a lower skill level without any real repercussion? Immediately after finishing up with character creation, we get a CGI cutscene where we get our first taste of the main story. It turns out your vault's water-making chip, which produces clean water through magic or science or something, is busted, and you have 150 days to find a new one. Even though Fallout's graphics may seem primitive by today's standards, seeing the vault door open for the first time still has the same impact throughout the series. We may not get that beautiful glare of the sun nearly blinding you as you exit like in Fallout 3, but for the first game in the series, it certainly leaves an impression. Like countless RPGs before and after, your first experience with Fallout's combat comes by way of killing rats. Trying to figure out just how to stab the little bastards was a feat in itself, with constant left and right mouse clicking to switch between a combat mode and an investigative mode where everything still tries to kill you. Unlike later Fallout games, there isn't a VAT system in which you can target specific body parts. Instead, we have a turn-based combat system that gives you action points based on your agility. After a healthy amount of stabbings and risking meningitis, I got used to switching between the modes and managing my AP. Getting out to the wasteland for the first time, I came across Shady Sands, and with a little help using Google Foo, I finally put it together. Shady Sands, the first village I stopped at, is where the New California Republic forms. That's right, what is essentially an entire country united west of the Hoover Dam in later installments in the series, all started at that village that I helped out. Every major event in any of the Fallout games includes your character changing the world, but here we can see exactly how much was changed by the Vault 13 Wanderer. By New Vegas, the NCR is huge, composed of 5 contiguous pre-war states and territories. They have their own government, currency, military, and so on. But all of that started at Shady Sands, where in Fallout you find a village of people with the untapped potential to reshape the world. With a bright future ahead, nothing could stop them from prospering, except raiders. And it turns out these raiders are really the infamous cons. If you played New Vegas, you might remember the cons were a major force in the area, so we can immediately see a connection to the newer games in the series. By the time of New Vegas, 204 years after the bombs dropped, the cons are strong enough to have an impact on the control of the Hoover Dam. Fallout takes place a short 80 years after the war, so given another 124 years, these measly raiders will become a major force of the Mojave. I also learned the Jackals and Vipers are considered to be the other big gangs in the area, which fans of the series may remember by New Vegas' time are nothing more than clans not able to pose much threat to any establishment. Another group that's fallen on hard times by the events of New Vegas is the Brotherhood of Steel. Fans of New Vegas will remember the Brotherhood only has one division of knights in the Mojave remaining, and couldn't even take the Helios 1 station from the NCR. This just shows that even with a plethora of laser weapons, power armor, and a pseudo-military doctrine to back it up, 2 centuries in the wasteland is enough to destroy anything. You may have noticed a lot of connections between the events of Fallout and New Vegas, despite the fact that they take place 124 years apart. Well, for one thing, both games take place in or around the Mojave Desert, but the connection between the two games goes even deeper. Fallout was originally developed by Black Isle Studios before the IP was acquired by Bethesda, at the time only known for their Elder Scrolls series. After Bethesda brought first-person perspective to Fallout 3 using the game's... what? Oh god. Gamebryo? Okay. Gamebryo engine. After Bethesda brought first-person perspective to Fallout 3 using the same Gamebryo engine used to develop Oblivion, they invited Obsidian, a team founded by ex-Black Isle employees, back to the series to develop New Vegas using Fallout 3's engine. After exploring the wasteland for some time, I ended up in Junktown selling con loot and making bank. Here I met Doc Morbid. one of the most memorable characters I came across in my time with Fallout. He's exactly what he sounds like, a grifty doctor who overcharges for his services. You gotta imagine after the apocalypse there's a huge need for a talented individual like this guy. This man is probably the only person with any medical knowledge in the whole town, or even the surrounding area, which is why his prices are out of this world! As you can see by the nearby guards, he's probably had more than one customer get a little rowdy about his prices like I did, or maybe they're just there to protect his priceless medical skills. NPCs like this are part of how the Fallout universe manages to feel like it's teeming with life even after the bomb. But as much as I love the good doctor, he wasn't the only memorable face in Junktown. Its mayor, Killian Darkwater, is one of the suavest mofos you'll ever meet in the wasteland, and one of the few NPCs worthy of a voice.
Can I help you?
Good old Killian is the de facto sheriff of these here parts. But fuck that guy. Here lies one of the most compelling aspects of Fallout. Players have total agency over the choices they make. You set out from your vault with nothing but a few supplies and your own moral compass. It's up to you to choose between being diplomatic or killing everyone you come across and taking whatever you find. And that's not an exaggeration. You can literally murder and loot every character in the game. Killian is a plot-centric character, but fuck that guy. Like this dialogue says, you go wherever you damn well please. Or, to put it less subtly, I was constantly impressed by the fact that this game was released back in 1997. I think Fallout deserves far more credit for nailing concepts like player agency, morality, and choice years before games like Deus Ex or Knights of the Republic. I've always been a huge fan of the Fallout series, and it was really fun and enlightening to experience the original Wasteland firsthand. Data graphics aside, I really enjoyed my time with Fallout, and I highly recommend picking it up on Steam if you have never played the game for yourself, especially if you're a fan of the franchise.
It looks like we have a winner!
That's it for our first episode of
Great but late!
If you like this video, do us a favor and click that like button and share it with your friends. If you want to check out some of our other videos, subscribe to Slack and Slash's YouTube channel and come back every Tuesday and Thursday for new Let's Plays. Also be sure to follow at Slack and Slash on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and visit us at slackandslash.com. Until next time, remember, war never changes.